Okay guys, the lesson for today is 45, so go ahead and pull that one out. Should be the next one in your folder. Lesson 45. And the first direction says draw an 11 centimeter line segment. So find your ruler and go to the centimeter side. And don't forget you're taking notes along with me. 11 centimeters is way out here, and connect the two. Next direction says draw a line segment that is 2 centimeters longer than the line segment for your name. So 11 plus 2 is what? 11 and 2 more centimeters is 13 centimeters. Right there. Number 1. Okay, so we haven't done something like this before. Now, word problems are the things that give kids the absolute most trouble in math. It's really hard to convert words to numbers in order to figure out how to solve a problem. So what they're going to do is they're going to have you start creating word problems so that you can kind of see how they work and what words we use to do to create the number sentence. So they're just going to do it fill in the blank for you for now, and we'll kind of make up the question from that fill in the blank. You're going to have one very much like the one we're going to do on this side on your side. So I'll walk you through it. Sherry has 2 blue blank. So let's say 2 blue socks. You can figure out what you want to do on your side. I'm going to do socks. Kara has 5 yellow socks. So now we're going to make up a question. So now we're going to make up the word problem. If you want to use page, I should have found this earlier. I'm looking for, here, word problem clues, page 22. So if you want to open to page 22, instead of using these clues to figure out what you're supposed to do with the word problem, we'll use it to build a word problem. So the 2 blue socks and 5 yellow socks, we could do one of these 2 columns with it. We could say how many socks do they have all together. We could say how many do they have in all or in total. We could say how many more yellow socks does Kara have, or how many more socks does Kara have than the other girl. Or we could say, let's see here. I wouldn't do the multiply or divide, and I don't think you'll have to on your side either, because these socks aren't multiplying. We're either adding to figure out how many there are, or subtracting to figure out who has more, who has less. So you can use that page to help you. And by the way, you'll notice on a lot of these pages, I left spaces because I didn't think of all of the possibilities there were for word problems. You can fill in some if you come across some and it's helpful to you. So we could say Sherry has 2 blue socks. Kara has 5 yellow socks. How many socks do they have in all? Or how many more socks does Kara have? Okay, those are going to be 2 different types of problems, so you got to be able to answer them. How many socks do they have in all? Okay, something like that. Make it a full sentence, and make sure you can solve it by the time you get done. Would you be able to answer this question with the information that you have? And does the question make sense? Okay. Number 2, 62 cents is the same as a certain number of dimes and 2 pennies. How many dimes and 2 pennies are in 62 cents? So they're just breaking up these into the ones place and the tens place, because 2 pennies is what we have in 62 cents, right? So how many tens do we have? 6, right? So if we had a pile of 6 dimes and 2 pennies, would we have 62 cents? Yeah. Now, they're going to trade a dime, 1 dime, and only have 5 dimes now. And they traded their dimes for pennies. So we had 2 pennies, and if you were trading pennies for a dime, how many pennies would you trade for 1 dime? How many cents is 1 dime? 10, right? So we traded a group of 10, and we still have this 2. That didn't go anywhere. So what's 10 plus 2? 12. Now, if you were to add up 5 dimes, 50, and 12 pennies, 12, if you added 50 and 12, would you get 62? You would. So that's a good way to go back and check if you're unsure. Find the sums. So one way to do this is to look for groups of tens. That's always the first thing I do if I'm adding a lot of numbers at once. So I can see that 3 plus 7 is a group of 10. I can see that 2 plus 8 is a group of 10. And I'm just going to give you a reminder over here. When you're looking for groups of tens, 1 and 9, 2 and 8, 3 and 7. Look at how these go now. 1, 2, 3. 4 and 6, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5 and 5. Excuse me. Okay, and we could keep listing, but it's just going to list these all over again, because it's going to go 6 plus 4, and we already have 6 plus 4 in there. So these are your groups of tens when you're adding. So we have 4 and 4 here. That doesn't add up to 10. 1 and 6. That doesn't add up to 10. 5 and 5. There's a group of 10. 8 and 2. Oh, there's also a group of 10. So we don't have any extras in that one. You don't have to do these all at once the way I'm doing them. And this doesn't have any groups of 10 that I can see, but it does have a double, and I bet you know your doubles. So let's go back and solve these. I should have maybe done that before. 3 plus 7 is 10. So we have 10 plus, what's 4 plus 4? Sometimes with the ones that are left, I circle them so I don't forget any of them, because pretty soon they're going to get into really long lists of numbers with you. If they haven't already. I don't think you guys have done that yet. So 4 plus 4 is 8. So 10 and 8 is 18. Let's do it again. These equal 10. And then we have 6 plus 1. 6 plus 1 is 7. And so our problem is 10 plus 7. And that is 17. Here we decided we have 2 groups of 10s, and there's nothing besides that. So 10 plus 10 is 20. And for this one, we don't have any groups of 10s. And I don't know if they're going to have groups of 10s on your page, but if they do, it makes it easier. I just look for the things I know best, and the groups of 10s are what I know best. Also doubles I know best. 7 plus 7 is 14. And one more is 15. Circle all the answers that are even numbers in example 3. Oh goodness. I'm assuming we're just supposed to go through the answers, because there's a lot of numbers on there. So I'm gonna say, oh here, yeah, circle all the answers. I read it as numbers. Circle all the answers that are even numbers in example 3. So you'll remember an even number are numbers that we get to when we're counting by 2s. So 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10 would come next. Numbers don't end with a 10 though, but they do end with a 0. and then we go 12, and that ends with 2. Okay, so if a number ends with any of these, it does not matter how big the number is. If it ends with any of these, then it's an even number. So we're going to look at the 8. Is 8 part of this even group? Yep. So that one is even. 7, we always only look at the last number. 7, is that an even number? Nope. 0, is that an even number? Yes, so that 20 is even. 5, is that an even number? Nope, so that is an odd number. Number 5, draw lines to match the correct temperatures. Now, we went over this for about a week or so before break. I'm not sure if you remember, so I'm going to try to remember what page this was on in our journals. What page was it on my journals? Oh, page 11. All right, so remember this page in your journals. Okay, turn to page 11 if you need to do these. Temperature at which water freezes. Now our choices are 98.6, 212, or 32. Now think about it outside right now. It is very near this temperature during the day right now. I don't know if you can see that. It is very near this temperature during the day right now, 32. It's in the 30s or 20s most days right now. Is that your body temperature? Is that where water boils, or is that where water freezes? Well, the puddles are starting to freeze outside. So this is the temperature at which water freezes. Now, we've got body temperature and we've got boiling temperature. This was freezing temperature. We've got 98 degrees, or we've got 212 degrees. Does it make sense that your body would be hotter than boiling water? Not really, right? Boiling water is so hot we will get hurt if we touch it. So that means it must be the higher number, 212. And normal body temperature is 98.6. That's what the nurse is checking for when you go down to the nurse to have your temperature checked. All right. Measure the length and width of this paper to the nearest centimeter. So we're using the centimeter side of our ruler again. Usually the length, I go with the longest side, and the width, I go with the shorter side. But it doesn't really matter too much as long as you're accurate. So this paper is, actually, you know what? Paper is the same at the bottom and the top. So I'm just going to measure it down the middle. This paper is, this ruler's a little too shiny. 21 is right here. 22 is out here. So this is 21 and a half, right? So the width is 21 and a half. The length, let's see if I can get this all on the camera. Get to the end. Move all my stuff around. Okay, so it's lined up and the end is almost right on the 28. So we're gonna say that it is 28 centimeters long. Oh yeah, it says the nearest centimeter. So I'm gonna go back and look at this one. 28 cm, remember cm is centimeter. Now it wants me to go to the nearest centimeter. It does not want me to use a half on that one, so we're gonna go back and line it up. And it is just a hair over 21 and a half, so we're gonna go up to 22. cm. Okay, always put your measurement on there, so we know that it's not feet and it's not inches, it's centimeters. It's 5:30 a.m. Is it morning or afternoon? So the 5:30 doesn't tell us morning or afternoon. The a.m. does, though. Do you remember a.m.? Is it morning or afternoon? a.m. and p.m. a.m. is morning. p.m. is afternoon. What time was it 3 hours ago? So we're going to take this hour right here. If you need to get your clock out, go ahead and do that. Because they're just asking for whole hours and we're not going past a 12, I can look at this 5 and take away 3 because we're going to back up 3 hours, right? 5 take away 3 is 2. And the minutes will not change because we're only subtracting whole hours. Now, we also didn't pass midnight when we took away 3 hours, so it is still a.m. If we passed midnight, then we would be getting into the p.m. Find the answers. Okay, they're gonna switch it up on you. Multiplication, subtraction, addition, so pay attention. When we're multiplying by 10, or 100, or 1,000, or anything that is a 1 with zeros after it, we can take the zeros and put them on the end of the other number. So this is 470. When we are subtracting tens, we can take 2 tens, or 20. We can take that away from 40. So 4 take away 2 is 2. Or 40 take away 20 is 20. And then the 7 stays the same, 27. Same thing if we're adding on groups of tens. But in this case, I'm going to add 2 tens onto the tens place over here. So 4 plus 2, or 40 plus 20, a 6 goes there, and the 7 stays the same. So if this mental computation was too confusing for now, especially when you're doing it on your own, then set it up the way you're comfortable setting it up, and add it. But if you want to give this a try and then check it with a calculator when you're done, you certainly can do that too. Okay? It'll only help you grow. Have a great afternoon. I will talk to you soon.